Hey everyone, welcome back. So the Unknown web series created by Guru Enlightenment highlights many stories that include life lessons while challenging people to think. So the latest episode, Copay, focuses on a family struggle coming to terms with their son's mental illness. And joining us to discuss more about the webisode, please welcome spiritual teacher, author, director, and podcaster, Guru Enlightenment, and producer and writer Olivia Whelan, aka Spiritual Butterfly. Hello and welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you for having us. Yes.
I just love all the work that you guys do together. It's so
thank you
wonderful. And we really appreciate you bringing it to our audience. And so I want to open up with you, Guru, because one of the things that I recognize in your work is that it's all rooted in messaging, right? I mean, obviously, you know, when we capture stories and we tell these stories, there's some kind of narrative that we're aiming to share with audiences. But all the work that you put your hands on always has this underlying movement, I think is the term I'm going to use. It's like a movement.
Yes, it does. It does. I want people to get it, to understand it, you know, and everything that I provide is very easy and very simple to understand. You know what I'm saying? All you got to do is just think.
Right. And so when you say all you got to do is just think, right? Is that almost like an inclination of like people are not really utilizing their abilities to the best of their abilities? Is that, yeah?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
And so this series that you created, you're in your third season. So how many episodes you guys already have in the can?
We have 29.
Yeah, 29, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 29.
And so what are the topics you touch upon? I mean, we don't have all day, but give me a general idea of the topic that you touch about.
We touch about relationships or like depression, mainly what people go through, you know what I'm saying? Even dating, you know, we have. So we're going to do our fourth season coming this summer.
Wow. Congratulations on that. And so now we're here to talk about this particular episode. I just wanted to give everybody a little background of the web series itself. But Olivia, this is this particular episode you wrote, and right?
Yes.
And so the premise of this episode is it's an interracial couple. So that within itself is a statement. And then there's, of course, the mental health issue with the next generation, which it really is almost like what we're dealing with in reality right now on a larger scale. Exactly. So let's talk about that and talk about, I guess, what inspired you to write it.
Well, I have to thank my teacher because she always encourages us to write from our own experience. And I was writing something in the vein dealing with my own experience, but she pushed me to be more specific and deal with the family confrontation. Or that's how I chose to focus it, essentially. And I'm very blessed in that my family understands depression. So it's not as if what that child went through, it's not like I went through it that bad, but it's having gotten to know people outside of my family and having gotten to know the spiritual family, I realized that mental health is something that's often considered taboo. And it's not even taboo, it's something that doesn't exist. You know, you're not supposed to talk about it. You're feeling blue, like what is that? Just get out of your funk. And having gone through my own crisis and my own tribulations with depression and anxiety, I feel passionate about sharing that it is a real issue, and it doesn't have to be, we can talk about it, and it doesn't always have to be sad and depressing either when we talk about depression, but I just want it to be real.
Right. And we just actually, prior to the segment, we had a doctor on who was just sharing how there's different spectrums within anxiety and depression, and that a lot of us are actually navigating through it collectively right now.
Mm-hmm. Right. Very true.
I mean, obviously the story that you guys wrote is more extreme because the child is considering getting on antidepressants. Yeah, no, sorry. I just wanted to share that with you and how it's a story that really needs to be shared and a lot more.
Well, to your point, and to that doctor's point, one thing my teachers always taught me is that everybody has depression and anxiety. It's just different degrees. And some people have it to the degree where they can take a yoga class and they're like, oh man, I feel amazing. You know, unfortunately, that's not my situation. I need Prozac, but that's okay. And it's okay to talk about these things. It's like we say in the episode, people take pills for diabetes. So why is it such a big deal to take pills for depression? It's not.
Yeah, she's right. Because I mean, I also suffer from depression myself, and I take medication. But you know, one thing that it is, I mean, a lot of people don't want to take medication, and I get it, and I understand. So they look for the healthier way to cope with it, to deal with it. But like I said, some depression, like she says, let's say you have from 1 to 5. So there are different types of depression. So they're, like she says, there's people that can handle it, and there's people that it's in the middle lane that probably, but it's a struggle. And there's people that can't deal with it. That's why a lot of people commit suicide. Because to deal with this every single day, depending on the level that you're on, is very, very traumatic. Very traumatic.
And what you're saying is true, right? Because again, the conversation that was had prior to this segment was geared towards how you're even able to identify it. Right. And identify when it's escalating. And so that's when it becomes a question of like, okay, you need to seek help, right? So this particular individual that you wrote about, the young boy, he seems to be a teenager. Why did you choose that age range?
Well, I feel that that's an age where you're especially susceptible. You know, you're just going through you're going through the crisis of what do they call it?
Menopause. I call it premenopause. She calls it
I would say like puberty, but
yeah.
Menopause is also probably more appropriate because it is a crisis. And I think, you know, at least for me as a grown-up, let's say this is not my situation, but let's say I have parents who didn't understand depression. I am still independent. I can go to my doctor and say, you know, I want to go on Prozac. It doesn't matter what my mom and dad say. But in this situation, it's a child who's dependent on his parents and dependent on their health, their health and their insurance. So it is crucial in this situation that there's some understanding.
Yeah, and I deal with a lot of teenagers that does suffer from depression, and parents choose not to accept it, like Butterfly said, because, well, this doesn't come from us. You know, it varies on parents too. You know, parents don't want to accept the truth, you know, that the child is going through it. I mean, finally they do, but children in this generation are going through a lot of depression. And I know that for a fact because I deal with a lot of these young kids, you know, more than ever than any other generation.
Yeah, I feel for this generation right here that's had to endure this past year. I mean, for all of us, but that age bracket that you were referencing, you know, the puberty, the hormones, the familiarizing themselves and trying to identify themselves and establish their own individuality, that it's a lot. And so before we go, one of the other things that I wanted to just touch upon before we go is the fact that you guys are a unit. And I know the last time we had you on, Guru, you were accompanied by Glenys Javier. And she also serves as the DP and editor for the web series, correct?
Right.
She, and along with also Victor Cruz, also acts as a DP as well, but Warriors are DP and our editor.
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's just lovely. You have like this family unit that is just serving a grander cause, a higher cause, because these are topics and discussions that need to be had, and it's lovely that you guys have found a way to do it creatively.
We just want the people out there to, like I said, we're not looking for credit, or we're not looking for you to say I like. That's not where I'm coming from. But just take a step and watch it, and hopefully that makes you think and makes your life a little bit better. That's what I do. I write. You know, I just finished writing a teenager book, and I just hope that people it's all about taking time to write. I mean, to read it and just wake up, man. That's it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. No, I mean,
Nope.
I just want to, and on a separate note, as a creator, I just want to say how beautiful it is to come to a point in your career where you have people you work with who you trust, who are reliable, who are going to show up on time.
Yeah.
And to have Guru as a leader, we're very, very fortunate because she's gifted in many ways. She doesn't need degrees. She's spiritually gifted. But you, like, I've been running around New York for a long time as an artist, and you find a lot of flaky editors and like DPs. So just to find a group of people that you know they're going to be consistent is like the most amazing thing. So that's what I love most about it, I would have to say.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, right? Because I'm familiar with the commercial world versus the creative world, and it's nice when you have control over your own creations, and that you trust the environment within that you're creating within, and that everybody is on point and on the same frequency. We'll leave it there.
That's very, very, very important. Because I like them to write their own thing, their own experience or somebody else's experience, you know, and what I do, I usually edit it and then, you know, tell them, okay, you're missing this, you got to put a little bit more. But they're all great writers, though. I have to say they are.
Yeah, I applaud you because you've got a lovely tribe, and everybody there is excelling and being fully self-expressed, and that's what it's all about, because that's where the healing is. So thank you for bringing it here to our viewers, Olivia, Guru, and you guys, to watch the Unknown web series, season 3, episode 2. Copay, that's the title of the one that we were discussing. Go to YouTube, Guru Enlightment. All right, we gotta take a quick break, pero when we come back, we're gonna talk a little bit more. Well, actually, we're gonna talk about some spa products for kids. So don't go to